Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Talk Anime News here from the Ohio guys. We've got quite a bit to cover. We took a week off last week. I was deathly ill. Not deathly ill,
Yeah.
but I was pretty sick. That's
Well,
why we had
crap,
no
you nearly
podcast.
died.
I didn't actually. I just couldn't talk. Um, but yeah, we got a bunch of news to talk about this week. We got another special guest, our good friend and Average Aspie,
Howdy.
back for another episode. Before we jump into that, definitely check out our Attack on Titan Wall Scroll giveaway. We're well past 800 subscribers now, on the way to 1200 for that. So definitely keep subscribing, keep commenting. We're trying to give that away by Christmas, and that's rapidly approaching. Also, give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you like our content. It really means a lot to us. Definitely comment on our videos, tell us how we're doing. Any comments or criticisms are much appreciated. Also, coming up here in what, 2 weeks, Crane? Week and a half? Yeah,
Uh, I'd
about a
say
week
about
and
a
a
week and
half
a
and a half.
half.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
be in Columbia, South Carolina at Bonsai Con.
Yay!
Super excited for that. That's gonna be a big, just an absolute blast. Um,
hmm
and then definitely check out our Twitter. Make sure you follow us on there for all the latest updates. Check out all of our gaming videos, live streams, interviews, all of that fun stuff. And also check out our good buddy Blake Shepard, his Patreon for his project Robot Girl. Um, Definitely going to be an awesome show. I mean, I've seen some stuff from it, trailers. You definitely get a lot of awesome content from being a Patreon supporter there. Christian, I believe he recently did another Skype thing with it.
Yes, it did. He actually got David Wald and Jay Hickman.
Yeah,
That
so
was a lot of fun.
that's definitely awesome. So definitely a worthwhile cause there, especially once the show comes out. It's really going to be special. But anyways, let's jump right into the news this week, guys. Um, Netflix, they're going to be producing 30 new anime series for next year.
Yep. Time to. That means I'm gonna have, I'd say about maybe 35, 40 sleepless nights, and come into work dog tired. Yeah, because Netflix binging is very addicting. I am totally guilty.
Yeah. Netflix putting out the heavy guns for anime.
Yeah, I know
Hmm.
we've talked about this a couple times, where Netflix is just being amazing for the anime industry right now. Um, Actually paying these animators, content creators, what they deserve to be paid. And it's definitely
Hmm.
awesome. I mean, they're sinking a lot of money into this if they're producing 30 new shows for next
Well, yeah,
year.
it was like a $8 billion budget.
Yeah, it's their total budget for all of their original content for next year, so that falls under that. So that's including if they're going to be still doing Disney Marvel shows, which I don't know.
Um,
Those might be
I
getting
don't
pulled from
know,
them, I think. So I'm pretty
because
sure isn't Disney starting their own streaming service?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're rolling it out in like 2019, I believe.
Okay, so they still might have some shows for next year then.
Yep.
I don't know. There hasn't been really much of a announcement on any new Marvel shows besides what's coming out this year, except maybe probably a Defenders 2, I would assume.
yeah,
hmm
But definitely awesome for Netflix to be doing that. I mean, that's a lot of content. They're definitely all in on anime at this point.
hmm Though some people are like questioning whether these are going to be newly produced anime that's under Netflix or they're going to be basically what we have with Violet Evergarden, which just 2 episodes premiered just recently about it. Though we had to wait till 2018 for legal streaming for it.
I think
Though.
it's gonna be a little bit of a mixture. I think it's gonna be a good chunk of original content,
hmm
and then
I think half and
obviously,
half.
yeah, I could see half and half as well. Half of it will stream in Japan while it's released, and then half of it will just be original content that's gonna go up right away.
hmm Though, yeah, for the amount of money they get sent to the production committees, I did hear also that um, uh, production animation studios that work under stuff that's under the Netflix as the committee apparently get more convenient work times and work schedules and stuff too. So, yeah, most of the money will still not go straight over to the production to the animation producers that do make it, but at least they'll have at least a breathable schedule to not basically draw to death.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, and actually get paid like a fair wage for what they
Hopefully.
do. That's the goal, I believe, from what I've read with different articles, what we've talked about in the past on the podcast here. Um, Definitely seems like Netflix is trending in the right direction for all those animation studios. And again, that's the West propping up the anime industry some more. Definitely interesting there. We'll get back to that topic here in a minute, but before that, we got a February release schedule for Sentai Filmworks.
Mm-hmm.
Flip flap.
Yummy.
Go on.
Oh,
Uh,
just flip flap.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna get the Food Wars, the second plate. I know they originally have listed the show at 600 minutes on the website. That is actually incorrect. It is a 325-minute show. So I know that a couple people have tweeted at Sentai. I think they're supposed to fix that, at least on their shop. I don't know if it got fixed in the original announcement. And then their prices were supposed to reflect that as well. But that was a little glitch on their part. But they released what's going to be in the limited edition box. It looks really cool. I think I like it more than the first one, just simply because I already owned the apron from a Loot anime box, so there was less incentive for me to want to purchase that one. But it's a solid box. I mean, it's the same type of a design with it. It looks kind of like a chest with some pretty cool content with it. Um, we're also gonna get Nanan Bioroi or God damn it! Somebody pronounce the name for me, please.
Nanan Biori
Yes, thank you.
or Biori.
Bayuri, something like that. It's gonna be the complete collection for that. So definitely excited for that too. And then the one I'm most excited for personally, Flip Flappers. It looks
Yes.
so good. That limited edition box is so shiny. So shiny.
No, the color, the art looks amazing. That's what I've been expecting.
Mhm.
Just like the show, like for those of you who haven't seen like any trailers or clips or even like posters of Flip Flappers, look at the box art from Sentai. It looks amazing. Like there was a lot of work that went into it, and I myself am so excited to get my hands on it.
Oh, I am too. I cannot wait. And it's getting a hell of an art book with it too. It's like 280 pages, I believe.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, they're only releasing it in Blu-ray only, so you only got like a single DVD Amaray case, so they could probably put a thicker book in there,
Oh yeah, and I'm excited for that.
which is pretty interesting because I thought that it would be a lot. We would have a few more months further down in the solicitation schedules, whatever you pronounce it, or how you spell it, where we would still have Blu-ray and DVD options and stuff. But apparently, nope, we're jumping straight over to Blu-rays and stuff for specifically Nanan Biori and Flip Flappers. Though I do like the consistency that Sentai's doing with Food Wars: The Second Plate, even though the box is huge as crap in my opinion.
It's freaking gigantic. It's the size
at
of an
least
actual
they
chest.
Yeah, but at least they still have the combo thing of Blu-ray DVDs, so it's not
Right.
like, oh, the first season's a combo, but the second one's Blu-ray. But I don't know how the third season will end up because we still don't know if they'll have the video rights for it.
Yeah,
Stuff.
I'm honestly
likely
really
console.
curious what's going to happen with that still.
hmm
I mean, there's been no word about it at all from Sentai. So they're probably in some battle for it at the moment.
Who knows? Like Haikyuu, like apparently Crunchyroll had the master license for it, but they still gave the video rights over to Sentai for the third season of
Interesting.
Haikyuu, I think, or it's Haiku.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's in Crunchyroll's best interest to do that. Simply because they need to stay on the good side of most companies. Because especially with the whole Funimation Sony thing, like you're not quite sure what's going to go on there in the near future. If Sony's just going to be like, well, we're just pulling the plug on this deal and we're going to do everything on our own streaming service, who knows? I mean, that's something that could happen in the near future, so I think it makes sense for Crunchyroll to be like, hey, you can. We just want to stream the show, but you can have the physical release rights because that won't do us any good at all.
It just sounds really ironic because like Sentai got Umaru, but now it's streaming on Anime Strike instead of like the first season that was on Crunchyroll. But now Crunchyroll has
I
like,
know,
the third
it's-
season of Food Wars.
It's so weird this season.
Yeah.
This is like the first time we've run into like stuff like this so far.
Mhm.
But it's pretty interesting. Sentai also announced the English dub cast for Haven't You Heard I'm Sakamoto. It's got a pretty good
Oh,
cast list for the most part.
Moto.
I don't know what to think of the show. I've heard people have mixed reactions to it. But
I've seen clips. I already like the show.
it seems interesting. I mean, I'll check it out. I'll probably watch it on High Dive first, and then go from there. But the dub cast looks really good. I mean, we got Houston Hayes as the lead as Sakamoto. I mean, you got
It's been a long time since I heard him.
yeah, it's been a while. We got him. I mean, Greg Ayers. Greg Ayers is always good. You can't go wrong there. Andrew Love is in it. Adam Noble, Genevieve Simmons, Ty Mahaney, Chris Patton, Lucy Christian. Trying to think of any other notable names here. Caitlin Barr, Juliet Simmons, Scott Gibbs, Adam Gibbs.
Jovan Jackson gets to be the coach. That's gonna be
Yes.
funny.
It's gonna be
That'll
awesome.
be pretty good. Kyle Jones is directing it as well.
Mhm.
So definitely looking forward to that. Got an excellent cast. The limited edition for it looks pretty neat as well. You get socks,
Just
right?
socks.
And the box is pretty neat. It's just like the manga drawings of Sakamoto, which I think is actually
Mhm.
pretty interesting for a box set. I mean, it looks kind of plain at the same time, but I kind of like it. It's a nice change.
You could probably say it's a cool art design. Ugh.
Oh
Ugh.
God.
That was hard for me to say. That.
Oh God damn it! No, no. Um, Jesus. Sentai also announced the dubcast for Squid Girl season 2.
Oh
With-
my gosh.
Yeah, big shocker here.
And people aren't that pissed.
Yeah, for once, people aren't upset at Sentai. Big shocker there. The lead is going to be Christine Marie Cabanos.
hmm
I mean,
We already knew in the past on Twitter that she was going to go to Houston for a few months, and apparently it was to do this.
I
Well,
heard
those
that
was top.
John Swayze actually flew out to LA to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I don't know.
I don't
Like, this
know.
was from Anime News Network though, so like they
Oh,
mentioned,
okay.
like they gave a link about like going over to Houston and that type of thing, or it's like howdy from Houston or something like that. So I'm just like, wait, she's over in Houston now, and Squid Girl season 2. Is there some connection to it? We don't know,
Eh.
but apparently,
Clearly,
was.
there was, yeah. I mean, the rest of the cast in this is, I mean, fantastic. This is like the Sentai All Star cast.
Mhm.
I mean, you got
yeah, it's really weird hearing Kira Vincent Davis is like kind of one of the main leads again, or semi main lead.
yeah.
Mhm.
It'll be interesting.
Still miss Melissa though.
I know, can't get everybody back though, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm pretty happy with the cast they have. I mean, like we mentioned, Christine Marie Cabanos, Kiera Vincent Davis, Lucy Christian, Greg Ayers, Emily Neves, Blake Shepard, Shelley Caitlin Black, Mark Laskowski, Jay Hickman, Andrew Love, Brittany Karbowski, Elizabeth Bird, Molly Searcy. And it goes on and on. I mean, Stephanie Whittles, David Wald, Kyle Jones is actually a voice in it as well, and John Swayze's doing the directing. But
Yeah, like when was the last time he did directing? He did it for
he did it for
M and
This year,
Amelia.
yeah. He
No.
did a
Oh,
show this
this
year,
year?
I believe.
Ushio and
Oh,
Tora.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, Ushio and Tora. Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's like he's getting more directing roles to Sentai now. So
Let's
Oh,
just
yeah.
not. Let's just hope there's no more Flamiglia.
Yeah.
I think Rob Mungol already like tore him a new asshole about that.
Flamiglia.
this, I think, nice. The term, I think the nicer word is he learned his lesson.
Love you, John, but that was too hilarious. I couldn't pass that one up.
I just wonder if he can also like help get like some connections either from like to get some people from Dallas over here, and apparently, I don't know, maybe he talked with Christine Mari about like coming over here to like cast, or maybe she did the calling and flew over.
I don't know.
Who knows? But I really want to know how it played out and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
So
something
when
I'm
I go to a
curious.
convention, I want to talk to her about it or ask.
We might
Mhm.
maybe like you mentioned, we will find out one of these days.
Yeah, because I don't know if there's any union shit that would happen, or
See,
I
that's
don't know
what
if
I
she
was
is in the
curious
union.
about too.
Mhm.
Like, there's so many different elements with this. I'm curious to see how it all went down. If it was just like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm just gonna give her a call and see if she wants to do this, and
Yeah.
just went
Plus,
from there.
plus this mirrors back way back to 20. When was Kids on the Slope dubbed? That was like
2013.
2013. Apparently, like Steve Blum kept mentioning on Twitter that he tried to contact Sentai about heading over there, but apparently couldn't do anything about it. But now it's like it shows like a tiny stepping stone that Sentai's in-house studio
Well,
has.
well, don't forget. Remember, Sentai picked up Persona 4, and
Yeah,
it was all dubbed at Bang Zoom for the
I
whole
know.
California cast. So, I mean, there were probably like small cracks, maybe like a little small crack in the door.
Yeah,
But
that's
I
yeah.
think
Apparently, I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying. I think now, we're going to start seeing maybe Sentai. They're trying to like get more of a foothold in California. You know how Funimation really has like how they've really like dubbed their shows with the Californian cast, like the new Berserk animation. Like I think Sentai was hoping to follow that route. So I think this might be the beginning of the stages.
Yeah, but the Steve Bloom and the Christian Mari Cabanos thing is Cabanos. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. It mirrors so much, but the result is now different because now Christine Mari was able to play Squid Girl and
Well,
stuff.
I think Sentai was different back then. I think
Exactly.
so maybe just maybe the people who were Steve was trying to contact was different than the ones that at Sentai now. Maybe the people at Sentai contacted her instead of the other way around. So
Yeah, this
Could be. I mean, that's.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that's probably how it went. It wasn't her contacting them. It was probably them contacting her.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think there's major difference between an actor contacting the company,
Mhm.
the contacting an actor. So
Mhm.
there's that one that's all up for debate, like on a whole different topic.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's all speculation at this point.
Yeah. I mean, we'll just have to ask her next time we see her at her convention. I mean, I'm sure we will next year or two.
Hmm.
But anyways, Sentai also recently licensed another new show. Oh, new-ish, I should say. The Life
Yeah,
of
new movie.
Midori Gusku, or Gusko.
Yep.
Mm.
It's basically the retelling or the same like the Night on the Galactic Railroad.
Hmm.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah. Apparently some people like says like the movie was very underwhelming and stuff, but it seems to be harmless and stuff. So it's nice
Yeah.
and it's great to finally get a movie that was like kind of like pushed away in like licensing obscurity or unlicensed obscurity.
Yeah. Too many shows kind of end up in that limbo.
Mhm.
But definitely some good stuff going on from Sentai still. Definitely excited for all their shows that they've got coming out. Can't wait for that February release schedule. But anyways, we'll jump right into the main topic here. I know you weren't here around for last week's episode, Brad, but we kind of jumped in a little bit on the question or the topic that Answer Man um, and or talked about on Anime's News Network about streaming and that sort of thing with different companies. Why a monopoly isn't a good idea. We touched on that, and he actually had a follow up about that as well last week, which we're going to talk a little bit about as well, enlighten a little bit more on that. Um, essentially, what his last little article said was he was just kind of trying to touch on some other topics, like why a centralized streaming option like just generally isn't possible. Um, he compared it to like Spotify, where Spotify is like the only like streaming platform out there that actually offers the content to everybody from one platform, and how their business model is just completely fucked. Essentially, they're just hemorrhaging money, which is unfortunate to hear because I love my Spotify, but it's not good for the industry at all either, because a lot more artists have to go on the road and do a lot more tours. They're not getting these royalty checks that they used to get. And that same sort of thing could happen like to the anime industry to a certain extent as well with that, where if you're not having the competition, like we talked about before, you're not having all these other companies bidding on all these other shows to raise the money, or the bidding wars on them, I should say. So the studios are getting more money so they can keep producing content. Like an example for that, say there's one company in the U.S. I know we talked about this last week as well, so I don't want to go like too far down the rabbit hole again. But like if there's just one company just bidding on a handful of shows, that's all they can afford to bid on, then Japan's only getting so much money back. And with that, like Japan, they pay the networks to play their shows. It's kind of complete opposite of here in the US, where all these different companies are paying for commercials to the networks. So the networks are making money from that, to produce these shows. In Japan, completely opposite there. They more rely on merchandise sales, that sort of thing, manga sales, to make their money back than the actual anime itself premiering on TV. Where a big part of getting a lot of that cost back is having all these different companies, whether it be Anime Strike, whether it be High Dive, whether it be Crunchyroll, Funimation, bidding on these shows. And that's a huge part of. I don't know if it's a huge part of their income, but I'd say it's probably a pretty good chunk of it, without knowing the exact numbers. I don't know if anybody else has any kind of feelings or things to add towards that, but that's kind of where I see things. I think it's a good, decent chunk of the percentage of the money that the shows make come from being bought by the U.S. companies to stream here.
I think me and yours are kind of the same. I think our thoughts. It's just like it's easier, said and done to have like one central streaming service. It just wouldn't benefit. It wouldn't benefit everyone in the long run. It benefits the viewers, but not the people behind the scenes.
Right, and that's kind of where he, like in the article, they mentioned, like with Spotify, it benefits the consumer immensely, but it doesn't benefit any of the artists at all. It hurts them more than anything, and that's kind of like where people need to kind of see this direction of like all these different networks. Yeah, it's not optimal. You do have to pay a bunch of money a month if you do want to watch every single show, because all these networks are getting their certain exclusives. Or you go the opposite route and you just pirate it, which still is hurting the industry, like worse than if you're just like, well, I'm just not going to purchase this one. I know you don't see it either way. Well, I wouldn't purchase it anyways, but like if millions and millions of people are all saying that at the same time, like it adds up.
Yeah, those.
Though we can also go into a comparison to like other streaming services or ways that other regions work on streaming. Because apparently I heard in Germany or somewhere around Europe, there's kind of a system kind of like this. Well, not to the way where all anime is under one unified service. Like there's a place to like access multiple streaming sites and stuff under like specific websites.
Right.
But they're mostly linked to pirated sites still, or some of them would still be legal. However, like it's still supposedly not stopping piracy and that type of stuff. It's still trying to like fuel the flames for piracy and that and stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're never going to stop piracy either. Like that's something that's never going to be like a thing. Like nobody is ever going to be like, well, piracy's dead. It's always going to be there, no matter what. But I don't know. There's different ways to support content besides like being like, hey, well, I guess I can't stream this show. Guess it's dead to me. I mean, you can always buy the box set when it comes out too, and that
Yeah,
I mean that
that's-
benefits like whatever company produces it the most. Like say it's
Mhm.
Sentai Filmworks, Funimation, Viz, Aniplex, Media Blasters. Who else? Discotech. I think they're still a thing.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It's just a little nice little follow up to it. Because I know people had some more questions about it, or not everybody was happy with his responses from last week. Um, Basically, there's no way to like completely make everybody happy when it comes to this. I mean, there's always going to be disgruntled people. They're like, well, I really wanted to watch this show, but I'm not going to do the double paywall. Fuck you, Amazon. I mean, I could be like, well, there's only like 2 shows on Crunchyroll. Fuck you, Crunchyroll. I don't want to pay for your bullshit. I'm just going to pirate it. But, I mean, I make a decent amount of money and I can afford this stuff. I understand the struggle. Like, been there before. You can't always view everything, but you also have to look at this like with like uh, Netflix or like Hulu, um, HBO, Showtime, that sort of aspect too. Like, I very few people I think purchase all of those. I shouldn't say very few. Like, there's millions of people that do it, but I mean it's along the same lines as being like, well, I want to watch all this anime, but I can't, or I want to watch all these exclusives from all these other television networks, but I can't. Like, kind of follows under that. I thought it was a decent way to kind of describe it in a more Western way.
Or in a nutshell, both, media stuff, whether it be anime or what have you, they're all luxuries.
Oh yeah,
So
I
not,
mean yeah, when it comes down to it, they are all luxuries. I mean,
yeah, you could live without them. You not being able to watch the newest anime is not gonna kill you.
right, right. It's definitely not, and I know people get frustrated because they want to watch it all under one banner. They just want it all like under the Crunchyroll for was it 6.95 a month. Get all the anime they want. I mean, that's just not how it's going to happen. Because I mean, you can't just be like, well, you know what? Uh, HBO's making this exclusive show, but fuck them. I don't want to pay for HBO. I pay for Showtime. That should be on there too. I mean, that's along the same lines. I know that they're actually producing this original content, so it's a little bit different, but it's still vaguely similar to that.
Hmm.
And I mean, you could also go with that as well. Well, I pay for cable. Why should I have to pay extra for HBO? Like, you could technically call that a double paywall too, if you wanted to. I mean, I know they have their own standalone streaming service now, but before the fact, like with all these different channels like that, people weren't completely outraged and like, oh well, fuck you. This is a double paywall. I already pay like 50 or 100 or whatever dollars a month for cable. I shouldn't have to pay any extra for this. It's like the exact same argument you could use with anime or like with Amazon Strike. Well, fuck you. I don't want to pay for Prime and pay for this. It's it's very similar situation. I think people didn't bitch about like HBO or Showtime or stuff like that before. I'm sure some people have, but just because it was more of the norm and people were used to it, and this is different, and people aren't used to having real competition out there for anime streaming. And then a lot of these have just started to pop up over the last year now, so people
Yeah.
are still adjusting to that. Um, I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts on that at all.
It's just a very hard topic to really like move around without like causing an argument over Anime News Network. Because look at all
Oh yeah,
the forum comments for them, like each one about either Anime Strike or this whole thing about the topic from Answer Man is not Answer Man. I think that's the podcast thing.
yeah, that's what
Is
they call
that
the podcast.
they exceed over like 100 posts
Yeah,
and stuff. And sometimes the moderator had to go in to like correct people, or there'll just be a long ass like quoting war with each other about the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's like, I mean, you're not going to make everybody happy with this,
Hmm.
and I think a part of the issue too is a lot of people don't understand a lot of the benefits from Amazon Prime, kind of what it offers. They're like, oh, it's just free shipping. Why do I
It's
want to
not.
pay $100 for free shipping?
It's an issue trying to find value in it, though. Some people find the value in having a service where, oh, they can like get free shipping or they get a lot of discounts for stuff, while also it being conveniently also a video streaming service, or it has a video streaming service that you can go to without having to jump to a different website or something, or you had to separate your subscriptions to where like, oh, you're paying like this much for specifically at Amazon for a year, but then you had to have this subscription to Crunchyroll or specifically an anime streaming service when most of the time you're just going to be watching stuff specific. You might be just watching cartoons and stuff instead of anime. So
Right.
then, but then you're like, but I'm spending so much on this anime subscription that I'm not bothering to watch anything. So I just unsub from it. But, or sometimes, oh crap, I forget to unsub from it. And it's just eating away at my wallet and stuff. But for like stuff like Anime Strike, it has a balance between like anime content and maybe some certain movies that you can probably watch for free, or possibly some cartoons and stuff. Maybe who
Yeah,
knows?
I mean, they've got a pretty extensive library. Plus, I mean, they offer discounts with Prime on stuff too. I know Mike
Mhm.
here with the Ohio guys. He paid like he just bought the new South Park game, and he paid like 40 some dollars for it because of Amazon Prime.
Mhm. It's
Like,
just the issue is that people are like saying that just Prime isn't really something specifically for an anime person, and that I can
right.
probably agree with.
Yeah, no, I can 100% agree with people when they say, "Well, I just want to watch anime." Like, I completely understand that. Why should I have to pay this double paywall? And who knows? I mean, this is what the first. We're still in the first year of Anime Strike.
Hmm.
So, I mean, Amazon's running their business model right now with it. We're into the what, third quarter?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're almost done
hopefully
with
after
the
the end of the
third
fiscal
quarter.
year.
So, we're going to be hitting the fourth quarter of the year. So, I mean, if they're going to make any changes, that's when you know they're going to make them.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
there's
hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, like, I mean, I enjoy like having or Amazon Prime a lot, but I can definitely see the benefits of if they just wanted to offer like a streaming service just for the strike, like $10 a month or something like that. I don't think that's completely
Hmm.
unreasonable, and I think their sub count for it would go way up. But
Yeah,
then,
but then it just makes me question like then how for like people wanting to have like a separate subscription and stuff specifically
yeah,
for Anime Strike, why is it specifically only for anime then and stuff? Then that means that the model should probably be going for other stuff. Then you should be getting like the Bollywood channel and stuff
yeah,
separately. Then it's just you're then gonna have to cater to multiple crowds and stuff, and not
exactly.
just specifically the anime one. And
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, then you have like all of those issues where they have all their different things that they do. Like you
mhm,
mentioned the Bollywood one, where they
mhm,
have all the
and
different content from India as a separate subscription as well.
mhm. If they and again, they're really trying to the only way for them like actually building and like Amazon growing so quickly is the Prime membership. Like the way that they're getting at least some money to then burn that money and still keep going in debt, but still be good enough to keep growing and expanding and then just pushing everything away is because of Prime itself. And so trying to change that or having the subscription away from Prime
Right,
might not be beneficial for them.
right. And
Though I do
honest,
think, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Though one thing I would probably want to see is if you can't separate Prime, then I think we should at least have the option for like certain features that we want in our Prime membership. So then we could pay a smaller fee for the Prime membership, but then still having to pay for like the Anime Strike thing. I'm fine with a double paywall if it's a cheap double paywall and stuff.
Right, and that's
So
actually an
even if it's
option.
Mhm,
Honestly, Brad, like I think that's a fantastic option, like an idea there. Like you pick what you want with your Prime account. Like you say, "Oh, I would definitely want the 2-day free shipping or I want the benefits from Prime sales." But you know what? I really don't use their video streaming, but I want the anime or
mhm,
and then you're like, "Well, I don't really
or
want
no
their
music.
yeah, no
Mhm.
music subscription because I have a Spotify subscription."
Or the pantry.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
I don't
like
have a kid yet, and it's just
yeah,
I'll use that.
there's a lot of unnecessary things that do come with the subscription. So if there was a way to like pick and choose to decide if you want that or not, but I don't think they would ever do that because they want you to have the full benefits of Prime. Like
Mhm.
that's the thing about it. Like, uh, and that's where they want you to like have all these extra features as well. It's why they keep growing with different features.
Mm.
If you're going to spend $100 on Prime for the year, you're more likely to stick with them to purchase stuff and purchase Prime next year as well, because then you get used to buying everything on Amazon.
Though I am part of the people that do pay the double paywall like less because I'm part of Amazon Student.
Oh yeah, that's a big
Um,
thing too. I mean, you pay $50 a year, right?
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part is, even if I'm out of college or I graduate, as long as the college email address is still active, which usually lasts for a long time, like probably like 5 or so years after you graduate, still,
Right.
then you can still reap the benefits of paying like half off of Prime, and then you only having to pay for a Strike. So I only had to pay like 100 a year for it.
Yeah, and see, that's not bad at all. I mean, Strike is pretty darn cheap for the most part. It's what like
Hmm.
what 4.95?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's not outrageous for it or anything like that. It's not like they're charging you like another $10 a month on top of Prime, which that would be outrageous. But I mean, it's kind of leads into what one of the moderators on Anime's News Network that you posted about last week, Brad, where he kind of broke down the cost of what it was to stream all your content per year compared to buying all your content, or not even all your content, just a little bit of your content a year, and how expensive it used to be, which I thought was fantastic. I mean, it comes down to where is it here? I'm trying to find the breakdown of the costs here, the total cost for streaming per year.
Trey making too much noise.
Does anybody
No,
else
I'm
see
not.
that?
I can hear it.
Like what?
Wherever you're playing.
I'm not playing anything.
You know, Crane just has weird noises that happen.
Yeah.
I know I was typing, but
Yeah.
that's. But
Is
no,
there- I hear whistling.
nope.
Not a human whistle, but like
That's my computer.
Where is it? Oh yeah, here. It's like $283 a year to subscribe to everything, or or for 6 months. 6 months subscribing at that price. Yeah, so it equals out to $47.27 per month if you want everything. That's Anime Strike, Crunchy, Funimation, Netflix, High Dive, Hulu with no commercials, everything a month. And he just kind of broke that down, which I found this absolutely amazing compared to like how much discs used to cost or still cost for essentially for like extended shows. It was like $25 per disc. For some shows, were costing a total of like $1,350, or with inflation, they would cost like $1,640 now. To access like the amount of content, and the amount of content that's actually available now is immensely larger than what it used to be when just a few shows were licensed and released on DVDs or Blu-rays, or mostly DVDs at the time before streaming services started becoming a little bit more popular. But I really enjoyed the comment that he made. I'm assuming you did too, Brad.
You know, sure, some people disagreed about like saying like, oh, but not everyone buys like discs and stuff. But during that day, when you wanted to watch a show like
That
legally,
was
you
your-
had to go and buy it. It's like pre-ordering a game. Like sometimes you would buy the game before you play it and that type of stuff. So it's kind of the idea of watching it before you like buy in, that type of thing. So the idea is for
Right.
watching is that you support the subscription for it. Then you divide the amount of content you have for it for that specific title, and then boom, that's basically kind of like the idea where you're paying like a fraction of the percentage for it for you to have access to watch this specific title and stuff. And that's why some people like myself wish that there was a lot more content to watch in a subscription, because if I'm only watching like 2 shows when I'm like spending like a year, like a $60 a year subscription for it, then that's not really a big enough value for me and stuff.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm one of those guys who usually watches, let's see, for example, on Crunchyroll right now, I'm watching like 5 different shows just this season. And that's probably a pretty good average of how many shows I watch on there per season. So I'm watching, what, 16 shows a year on just on Crunchyroll? So I'm getting a pretty good value, I'd say.
Mhm.
Compared to if I was like, well, I just want to purchase all these shows, which I do purchase quite a bit of the content that I watch too, but I like to weed it out, see if I like a show or not, and kind of go from there as well. I don't like just blind buying shows.
Though, just because I agree with the whole thing of this comment and stuff, this is only a part of like the pricing and stuff
Well,
being
yeah.
very convenient for the consumer. Like this is like consumer friendly in terms of price and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
While people still there's the problem with convenience for that part and stuff. Though I'd rather have at least a good price first before like having specific convenience, or at least like
Exactly.
some specific functionality, or at least some a very at least functional service and stuff. And yeah, some parts of Amazon Prime aren't really that functional with its UI and stuff, except if it's on the desktop or some specific phones.
Right, and that's something that they need to fix, obviously. Um, kind of like how I wish High Dive had an Android app or any app at all already. I
Yeah,
would I
why
would
don't they?
kill for that. I know they're working on it, so I'm being very
Yeah,
patient with them. Like it's part of the process, but I hate if I want to watch
just like
something on my
George R. R.
phone.
Martin like hype. It's like, oh, it's coming, it's coming, they're coming. But let me sing you a song about my wiener.
Right.
don't,
Anyway,
don't get me
good
started.
lord. Anyways, to try to kind of wrap that up a little bit. Um, the way streaming anime now, price wise, it's very consumer friendly. It's not as convenient as like most people like, including myself. Like, why wouldn't I want a certain site to host all of the anime and stream it all, and I just pay one flat rate? That's very convenient. But also, I understand that you need competition as well between different companies. You don't want to just have a monopoly where a company gets lazy. Um,
You wouldn't want to watch football and there's only like one team in the entire NFL. Wouldn't be fun to watch, right?
right. I guess that's. Or just have like one video game studio that constantly puts out the same video game. Like if it was just Activision, you only got Call of Duty every year. That was it.
No, that'd be the worst nightmare for a video game.
I mean, those are like extreme situations or like
Yeah,
analogies that you try to use, but
but you know, competition like that word does. It's a good word and a bad word, but most of all, it's a good one to
right.
use.
It's not always the most convenient for the consumer, but in the long run, I think it's what's best for the consumer, whether it be providing the most content or actually providing enough money to keep the anime industry from dying out, which I'm sure that Western culture provides quite a bit of money towards that for all these different studios. I mean, you can kind of look back and look at all the different studios that work with a lot of the dubbing companies over here and streaming companies and kind of see like which studios are actually putting out more and more content. And it seems like there's a oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it now, but they coincide with each other. Like it looks like the companies that are sending shows over here are doing better. But anyways, on to more news. We actually got some actually pretty big news besides like all the different dubcasts, all that stuff. High School DxD is getting a new season. Season number 4. It's going to be called High School DxD Hero.
Hmm.
And that's
Should
going to
be
be coming out
interesting.
next year. Yes. I believe they got a new animation studio too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice. We
Is that
do.
correct, Brad? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. What was the one?
DxD getting a new studio.
Yeah, the news. No, I don't think.
Did they?
It was either all I know specifically that the character designer is going to be different.
Oh,
I don't know
character
specifically
designer's
about
gonna
the
be different.
studio.
Okay. I know
Though it
the
looks kinda
artwork
different.
looks different.
Yeah, so I feel like it's a different studio and maybe a character designer, or maybe it's the same studio but a different character designer.
Or it could
Either
just
way, they're
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it could just
it's
be
very
updated
softer,
looks
more
too.
rounded out, and I think it's a lot warmer to look at than the cool color design from like the first one where. Yeah, like it's all like raunchy and hot and spicy and stuff, but it doesn't really feel that sexy to me
Spicy.
and stuff. Well, for these, the characters look a lot younger, which is a little bit of a downgrade for me.
Yeah.
It's at least more rounded out. Like the characters look a lot more curvier, and it's a lot warmer colors to make it kind of feel like a warm feeling to it, which adds a sexiness to it. And the character designers from Rail Wars, so it's already there's going to be some weird like girly character designs anyway and stuff. Not like girly as in shoujo, but for fan service vibe.
Right. But it should be interesting. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the show or the series, I should say. But it has its place. It I will say it's definitely on the more extreme side of fan service. Kind of up there with Monster Musume. Not as ridiculous as that, but definitely very heavy on the fan service. Funimation's also announced a ton of dub casts for all their simuldubs. They announced dubcast for the first episode of Ancient Magnus Bride. Yes,
Yeah.
the first episode. And pretty good cast. I mean, I need to start watching the show. I still haven't. I've still only watched like the first OVA episode. But you got Danny Chambers in it, Brian Mathis, Garrett Storm, Rachel Glass, Tia Ballard's in it. Kyle Phillips is doing the directing for that.
Yep. I think he'll do all right.
Yeah. I'm not extremely familiar with what he's done before, but I mean, this is a pretty big show for them, so I'm assuming he can handle it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he can because I know he's worked with Tyler Walker in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Not as like main director, but still he was with him.
Right. We also got the dubcast announcements for King's Game as well.
Your favorite.
Oh God. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, we'll save this for
fun.
our other podcast series, but I'm not a huge fan of the show. I was pretty hyped about this show, and it's not good. But you got Kobe Lewin, Bryn April, Alexis Tipton is in it as well. Lindsay Seidel, Jared Green, Kyle Phillips is in it. Heather Walker. Gosh, this is a massive freaking cast. I wonder how many people these are gonna die. How many of these people are going to die? Probably a good chunk of them. Some more notable people: Brittany Lotta, Matt Shipman, Anthony Bowling, Megan Shipman's in it as well. Tyler Walker's in it. Amberly Connors. Mike McFarland has a small role in it as well, and it's being directed by Tyler Walker. So I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna stick with the show for a couple more episodes because the deaths in it still intrigue me. But we'll see about the show. I don't know. Maybe the dub will be better. I've had that happen with shows before where I absolutely hated the sub, and then I go and watch the dub, and it was fantastic. But other than that, Kanohana Kitten, we also got the dubcast for that. Lindsay Seidel in that again. Pretty small cast for this one. Dawn Bennett is in it, Morgan Garrett, Emily Fiardo, Kate Oxley, Jade Saxton, and Jade Saxton is actually doing the directing for this one. So pretty.
Did The show looks cute, man. I'm going to admit, like the way it's drawn, the characters, the ears.
Yeah, this is one
It
that I
looks-
had on my queue, but I took it off because I just don't have enough time to check it out. So maybe I'll revisit the dub at some point in the future. Not sure yet, but the dub cast keep on rolling, my friends. So many
Yeah.
announcements with those. We also got the cast for Code Realize as well. A lot of new names I'm noticing this season compared to last season. Like last season, it seemed like they rolled with some more veterans compared to this season. But we got Jill Harris, J. Michael Tatum, Chris Guerrero, Michael Selisoud, Justin Briner, David Wald, Grave Dulce, and Apaya Yu. I really hope I pronounced that name right. I think I pronounce it incorrectly every time. Jerry Jewell is also doing the directing on this one.
Nice.
And then we also got the dub cast for Uehara, which I watched the first episode. It was so underwhelming. I wanted it to be just like so like over the top ridiculous and have more energy to it. But it just I haven't watched the dub, I've watched the sub, but the energy just feels kind of forced in it so far.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but maybe the dub will be better as well. We got Saren Weidenhoff in it, Julie Shields, Alexis Tipton, Anthony Bowling, Monica Rial, and Chris Wycap. And Jeremy Inman's actually doing the directing on this one. We also got the dub cast for Daizare as well, which I absolutely hated episode 0, so I need to go back and watch episode 1, see if it's actually gotten any better. Again, I don't subscribe to Funimation, usually because I just don't see the value in it for myself personally, so I don't get to check out a lot of these dubs, which I might change that here in the near future. I might just subscribe to like the VRV or the Verve. They call it Verve. I say VRV. There's no fucking vowels in there. But Dave Trosco, Brandon McInnes, Alexis Tipton, Alex Moore, Caitlin Glass, Aaron Roberts, Michaela Krantz, Jeannie Torado, Ian Sinclair, and Marcus Stickmack.
I'm glad Marcus is back.
Dude,
He was
Marcus is so cool. He's such a cool dude.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I haven't seen his name in a while in any of these cast listings. I'm
Mhm.
just glad he's like getting something.
Same. I think this one probably has the best cast out of all of the shows so far that they've announced their casts for.
This one, I'm
close
gonna
to
say
it.
I'm gonna say this is like 60% veterans and 40% up and comers.
Right.
Because Marcus, he's still new. Jimmy, she's still new. Mikeda, still kind of new.
Hmm.
And Brad McGinnis. So
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
those-
definitely some good people in that one. So I might revisit that one as well.
this might be more fun because Tyson is, you know,
Right.
he's gonna throw in some good World War II references.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that.
I can see him pulling some references from like World War II movies that he probably likes.
Hmm.
Maybe some Glorious Bastards references.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
I hope he goes that route.
That'd be fantastic. We also got the
Have you-
Dubcast announcement for Blood Blockade, Battlefront, and Beyond. Second season for that one. We got Mike McFarland returning as the director for that one. So if you know Mike's directing it, it's probably a good show. Most of the time. Which I haven't checked out the first season. I actually didn't even really know about the show until they announced the second season. But I had to go back and check it out. We got Aaron Desmuke, Ian Sinclair, Phil Parsons, Francis Henry, J. Michael Tatum, Josh Grell, Mike McFarland, Ryan Pitts, Ray Hurd, Monica Rial, Stephanie Young, Tia Ballard, Trina Nishimura, Christopher Wycap, Allison Victorin, Alexis Tipton, and Bruce DuBose.
Stephanie
Yeah.
Young. I have not seen that name in a while.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't really seen her in casts as of late either. But I'm not saying this is exactly true, but I've heard others say that she is rather particular on what type of characters or she will play or what type of shows she'll work on too. So that could be part of the reasoning.
Yeah.
But I
Shreya
don't know.
Nishimura. Like, that's a name I haven't seen in a while either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's back. She's in
Yeah.
and out.
Mm-hmm. Either way, it's my tolerance for her is kind of waning. She's not my favorite actress. But it's what the director wants.
Right. I don't know. I I haven't heard her in enough roles like recently to really remember what exactly she even sounds like. I'm trying to think of a show that she's in that I can even think of her voice.
Maybe from bad experiences. It's just I didn't like her as Mari and Mikasa and Attack on Titan stuff. Not Mikasa, Mikasa.
For Trina, I'm more familiar with her voice and Strike Witches.
Oh, Strike Witches. Okay, yeah.
Oh, and also
Which-
she was in Heaven's Lost Property. That was a fun dub for me.
Oh, dude.
Mhm.
Okay, just taking a time out from the news, dude. Heaven's Lost Property is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's so
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
I would have to say my favorite part, it was the episode with the watermelons.
Really?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, because when Nymph and Astrid messed with
Yeah.
when they messed with them and Icarus asked them just stoically and everything, and they were bugging out like, "Oh God, she's gonna fucking kill us," you know,
know.
that kind of look. I was
Um,
like, "Oh my gosh!"
my
yeah, that
favorite
was
episode
amazing.
is the Snow Day one with the snowball fight.
Yes. I'm still stuck in a snowball.
Either that one or the festival one where they have to catch all the girls like they were fish.
Oh my gosh, that one was ridiculous.
Oh man, brings back some really good memories.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Funimation announced the dubcast also for Garo Vanishing Line. You got T Axelrod. Wonder who that is.
Hmm?
Cough, cough.
What?
T Axelrod, Christian. T Axelrod.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, go for it.
It's Taz and Jeffy.
Yeah.
Yay! So watch it, people. Watch it.
He doesn't do much anime these days, so it's
Right.
kind of nice seeing him come out like every like full blue moon.
It
so
definitely is.
Yeah,
You
it's
know-
like getting a treat from Baskin Robbins. You don't get it often, but when you do, you feel amazing.
Yes, just like that.
Yes.
But yes, T Axelrod, aka Taliesin Jaffe. Also have Madeline Morris, David Matrenga, Barry Yandel, Felicia Angel, and Garrett Storms, sorry. With Caitlin Glass doing the directing on this one.
Nice.
Ugh, so many dubcasts. Somebody else read the next one, please. I can't do it. I can't.
For which one? The
The Zodiac War one.
Yeah.
You want to take this?
Have-
I'll
Yeah,
let
it's
you take
basically
this.
it's basically Fate Zero, but with the idea of instead of like historical figures and that type of thing, it's just hey, it's a bunch of weird people dressed up in Zodiac outfits and stuff. Like you get this sexy like yaoi looking dude dressed up as a bunny, and it's so weird. It's so stupid.
But
And
I'd say the real big surprise on this one is Vic Mignogna's directing it. Because I know before in his past, he's directed like parts of shows, but never an entire series by himself. So, kind of curious to see how it'll work out. It's like the cast listing is not bad. It's actually It's actually not bad at all.
It's actually pretty damn
So-
good. God, that
So-
show sounds ridiculous. I did not know that's what the premise was to it.
Okay, I gotta see
yeah,
who.
I think it's every 12 years or something that a new
Oh my
war
God.
happens.
That's amazing.
Oh, I wonder.
I mean-
So it's based on the Chinese zodiac, or
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chinese Zodiac.
wonder who's the snake.
Oh, it'd be so cute if it was a lolly and stuff. So then it'll just be the snack.
Oh god, that'd be
Snack
amazing.
lolly.
But man, last show I've seen that was based on Chinese zodiac was Fruits Basket. Gosh, I feel old now.
Fruit Basket is old. Good god. And not a Funimation show. We finally have another show with the Dubcast to talk about. I know you're pretty excited for this one, Christian.
Oh, you know it.
Exclusive B, the beginning.
It's gonna be on Netflix.
Take it away, my friend.
So for our fans who are dubs out there, here's one. So with B, the beginning, the main is gonna be played by Ray Chase, and you guys know him from the Final Fantasy video game series. And then followed by Kyle McCarthy, who some of you guys might know from Mob Psycho 100. And the cast list continues with John DeMita, Doug Stone, Faye Mata, Jenny Young Bosch, Xander Mobus, Allegra Clark, Brianna Knickerbocker, Patrick Seitz, Jalen K. Castle, Erica Mendes, Christina V, Jack Ezra Weiss, Coy Dow, Todd Peppercorn, Steve Prince or Derek Steven Prince, Ben Diskin, Miranda Miller, Sean Chiplock, Edward Bosco, Keith Silverstein, Jake Aberthy, and Joe Zeha. So yeah, this is a very different, unique cast list. Like, it's gonna be interesting just hearing how the characters gonna sound like. And yeah, this is, again, I haven't seen it, but just based off the cast list, I'm very excited. Not sure about you guys. I'm not sure if you guys gonna watch. I definitely will.
Oh yeah, I definitely plan on checking it out.
Mm-hmm.
But we also got the updated dub castings for Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny, which I was a pretty big fan of the show. I know it wasn't the most well received Gundam show, but I felt like it really rebooted the series and kept it going where it needed to be. I know everybody's like, "Oh, rah, 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 Gundam Wing is so much better." Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Fine.
Mike.
I don't like either Gundam Seed or Gundam Wing.
See, I like both. Those are the only Gundam shows I'm really a big fan of, but I haven't watched a lot of the newer ones.
Mhm.
Like Unicorn or Iron Blooded Orphans. I haven't checked those out. Been meaning to, but I mean, this has got a good cast list. It's got Kevin T. Collins, Carrie Caranan, Lisa Ortiz, Tom Wayland, Ben Prosky, Kristen Lamonte, Daniel Edwards, Chris Noski, or Nosi. It's got Max Middleton, Chris Hackney, Stephanie Shea, Sandy Fox, Jeremy Lay, Erica Mendez, Lucian Dodge, Chris Angeli Morris, Colin DePaula, Eddie Lee, Damian Mills, Johnny Young Bosch, and Casey Mongillo. I mean, it's got a damn good cast. And I'm curious how it's going to hold up to the original. Because there's
It's
some.
It's gonna be different. Kevin T. Collins Griffith. How can you go wrong with that?
I think the only voice that
Casca's actress as a
Yeah.
supporting main female.
I think the only voice that's gonna be so extremely weird to me is gonna be Mu Laflaga's,
Mhm.
because his voice was so distinct. I can't remember who did the original voice for him. I have to look it up. But I think that's the one that would have like the biggest impact to me. I think I could definitely see all the other voices matching up quite well. That's just the one I think that'll stick out to me the most.
Yeah. It's just great to hear like the Berserk actors still doing things, or majority of them still doing things.
Oh, I
Which is
love
great.
it.
It's because Kevin T. Collins and Michael Sinterniklaas, they're good friends.
Mhm.
So it makes sense that Central Nicholas will call up Kevin for a project.
Right.
And Kevin, again, he's a rare bird to hear in anime nowadays because you just don't hear him often. Like maybe once every few years now you hear his, but
Mhm.
but you know he's up for any new title that comes up. Like he'll be right there.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. It's definitely awesome hearing like people from those, like the original Berserk dub, which is pretty goddamn old now. Hearing them in shows still today,
Mhm.
which you don't get that with a lot of studios. With some people that far back, and it's not every day you get to hear that cast, especially
No.
that one. Um, I finally checked out the Verizon streaming thing, Go 90. I know that they just added all 4 seasons of Hellgirl on there, which is part of the news, but it's interesting. I don't quite understand why Verizon needs it, but you know, there's free anime on there for me. Yay.
I
But
guess
yeah,
this means that Aniplex now has all the Hellgirl stuff now.
yeah, that's
since-
what it seems like.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that they do. But yeah,
Mhm.
Hellgirl, all 4 seasons on it on Go 90. So if you have Verizon, yeah. If you don't, well, probably watch it somewhere else. I'm assuming it's on like, where's it at? I think it's on Amazon Strike. I know it's somewhere. I can't remember where. But some of the more bigger news too. We got some more stuff for Full Metal Panic.
Yes.
Yes.
I know I'm personally super excited for this.
Oh
We
yeah,
got
I've always liked Full Metal Panic. Hell yeah.
yeah, we got a nice little promo video for it. It's going to be airing next year.
Yes.
It's saying it's supposed to premiere in spring 2018.
As long as they bring back the most of the original main cast, I'm cool. And it's very doable too. Because most
Yeah.
of the main cast in that show is still active in anime today.
I think one actor though is dead though, like who's
Yeah.
the commander. I just don't know if he
Oh,
shows up in
yeah.
the series or not. I'm not sure. I haven't watched the second raid.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be someone close, with that voice tone. It's not that hard to find someone either in Dallas or there's some
Yeah.
I can think of that can sound like the old voice actor.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll
Way, I
s-
don't think we're gonna have the opportunity like in the second raid in Fumofu where Funimation will allow like the dub to be finished within ADV studio and stuff. I think this is gonna be like an in-house thing, or it's gonna be a split between like Dallas, Houston, and LA stuff. But most of the actors I think will show up. I don't know if like someone like Hillary Haig.
That's the only
I
one
don't
I
know.
think who wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
Just because it's not
Yeah.
convenient for her to drive all the way to
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Because it's like the roles that she does, it seems like are basically done on her time. If she has time to do it, she'll do it. If not, oh well.
Well, yeah. She's pretty loaded from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard she's
From
like
company.
yep.
So yeah, I mean, is what it is there, which makes me want Sentai to get it so that they can get pretty much the entire original cast.
I don't know. I think Funimation actually there was a the convention that I was at. Funimation like advertised it as the creator
Really?
or something,
Huh.
showing up for it. So this is probably a given that like Funimation will get it, I believe.
I mean, they still hold the rights to all the other seasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Though who knows? Like we just don't know.
We got until next year to figure that out. So
I mean, they got plenty of that Sony money, so they really want it.
Mhm.
It's theirs.
I just think they're just shoving it all in their dubbing studio and stuff more than like getting licenses, since mostly it's just all Crunchyrolls.
Yeah, that's what it
business-
seems like
business.
still. I mean, it's still a new purchase, so we probably won't
Mhm.
start seeing like more of Sony's influence until next year.
Yeah, it's just, and people like Crunchyroll, like their only way to counter with anime strike is to be part of the production committee of those titles, or licensing them way in advance before they premiere, so then they can like just have early dibs on stuff,
Right.
which is kind of a double-edged sword at the moment. But that's going on a tangent at this point. So yeah, looking
Right.
forward to Full Metal Panic.
Definitely looking forward to that. Also looking forward to this new show that's going to be coming out at some point. Geno Studio reveals a new TV anime project by Bakano and Dura creator director Takahiro Omari. And
What's the name of it?
let me see if they announced the name of it. It just says a project. That's
Oh,
all
wow,
it says.
they've been planning for this for like 10 years. Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's pretty insane. Who knows
Okay.
what it's going to be, but I've enjoyed just about everything that man's done. So
True. Because I've seen Bakano and I've seen Durarara, and I like both of them.
right.
So I'm looking forward to it.
I think it'll be interesting. Then we also got another little teaser for Darling in the Franxx anime, the newest show from Studio Trigger. We're going to get a January premiere for it, and we got a little teaser for the story as well. Didn't really give away anything, but I'll take what I can get from this. I love Studio Trigger. As it's quite evidence from like every podcast episode of ours ever.
Oh,
Massive
and
fan.
A1 Pictures. Something tells me Aniplex is gonna get it then.
Oh yeah, it's a Trigger show, dude. Yeah, Aniplex is getting that.
Mm-hmm.
They get just about every like big Studio Trigger show.
Mm-hmm.
On a slightly sad note, the Umaru-chan manga is going to be ending in 3 chapters.
After we got season 2.
No.
No more pudding.
That's okay. This type of a manga can't go on forever.
No way.
No. Shin-Chan can do it. Umaru can do more. Give
You
it
had
more
to end
cola
it in
and
the
potato
most
chips.
saddest drama ever.
I want
to
more
be on,
fucking
like-
pudding.
Like she has to grow up in the end and that type
Yes.
of crap. But do you want to go that route? No. I think they're just
No.
gonna end it right at the door. Just gonna
What,
close
just-
the door on it.
Just do the Pokemon route. Umaru never ages for over 10 years.
That would be hilarious.
She opens up the golden pudding cup that grants her a wish to never grow up or something like that. Like that whole stupid ho-oh like theory of Ash never growing up.
Nice. Good lord. And last but not least, Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel film opened up at number 1. No big shocker there. In
Yeah.
Japan, obviously. And it earned about $3.69 million in 2 days. Pretty good for an anime film. Pretty good. I
No,
definitely.
still not the level of like Evangelion's. I think it was 2 trillion yen
Yeah,
on that one.
that's absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to all the anime. Thank you for being on the podcast again, Brad. Always good having you.
Oh,
No
yeah.
problem.
Mhm.
But we will catch you next week, everybody. See ya.
Pudding.
Bye.